Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Another update on Pepper Road Depot. Alright, now from the initial shot you can see I've done a hell of a lot over the past 10 days or so. Generally by the time you guys see it, the video has often been recorded probably up to a week before. So yeah, this video is probably going to be released another four or so days after I film this. So consequently, by the time you guys actually see it, there'll probably be some more details and more stuff done. But yeah, getting to a point where it's getting towards kind of completion. It's hard to say, yeah, with Model Railways, are our layouts ever totally finished, you know, but yeah, with these point-to-point shelf layouts, you can actually get a layout completed in fairly relatively short space of time. You hear of some people with huge layouts spending 10 years before they even contemplate saying it's complete. And that's the beauty of the shelf layouts, you know. You can actually, without spending thousands upon thousands, you can actually get it finished to a reasonably high detail and in a reasonable space of time. So many people never reach that completion point, you know. Anyway, so just a quick rundown of what's been done. So for those of you that follow the channel, you would have noticed that the master section of the layout, it's been more or less finished for a little while now. Just recapping, a YouTube layout by a Canadian guy, Boomer Dioramas, and his layout River Road. He gave me the inspiration to sort of start with the bench work of the layout, the actual structure of the layout. I felt it was important to build both sections at once, and that way I knew how it was going to fit together and make sure the tracks lined up, and then I basically laid the track on both sections. But for ages the track on section 2 was unballasted. There was little to no scenery there while I worked on this module, and he sort of moved along his layout and did the same thing. So yeah, the only thing I've done since the last video on here, I've added some static grass just along the side of the rail here. I think that's come up quite nicely. Put a little tree in the corner, and that sort of partially hides the exit where the Class 122 exits onto its little cassette extension on the end. Still not 100% happy with the shuttle system. Quite often, you may have noticed in the last video, it doesn't always run completely onto that. It'll stop with the nose just in the entrance there. Yeah, still got to play around with the module right there, the SDCC1. Alright, sorry, moving the camera a bit too fast. So yeah, nothing much has changed. Really happy with the back scene. The only thing I may do is add just a fence behind the figures, just to break that up, but that has made such a difference. It was just blue sky and it's just too blue there. That's amazing. So yeah, so nothing else has really changed. The only thing since moving on to section 2 that I'm not happy with is the colour of the platform. And being that's my heritage line, so it gives me the opportunity to run a steam loco or steam freight carriages, and of course the 122, which is in BR green with yellow ends. But yeah, it's supposedly been there for a while, so of course platforms are often built out of brick. So what I might do is actually put some brick card on the front and darken the top surface just to simulate maybe bitumen that's been added to the top of it in more modern times. Yeah, it's just a bit of a bluey grey. So, yeah, and also the road here. So yeah, watch this space kind of thing. But of course, it's basically a disused passenger station on a branch line somewhere in Yorkshire, and so Paddy's Lane Station is just the hub for a heritage railway now. Alright, moving on to the new module. Ballasting's all been finished. I added some little weeds that are growing through the ballast there, little bush things. I've got this building in the background which is actually gifted to me by my dad. I think it's actually an American built kit, and it's, I think, technically HO because he was an HO modeler. So I'm just trying to work out how I can repurpose that. So it's only sort of sitting there loose at the moment next to the bridge. So down the bottom I might have to put some bigger doors, and obviously an O gauge. Those are going to be small windows, but yeah, some sort of industrial building. Just helps cover, add something to the scene. So my overpass bridge, which I built from scratch using just leftover bits of 7mm plywood, a bit of plasticard strip on the sides, a bit of aluminium rod, and just coated the deck with some gap filler. I don't think I'll do that again. It always ends up being a little bit sticky, but it's pretty good. Actually makes the vehicles adhere to it so they don't roll off. But yeah, reasonably happy with that. You guys probably comment that it does look a bit more American, but I didn't want a fairly closed in typical brick arch bridge because I wanted something as a scenic break, and I wanted something just to hide the entry exit. So the hidden section of the layout, which will eventually have a small, say 600mm section on the end to actually put trains on the layout and then run them onto the layout. But you also want to be able to see through and not totally close off the scene, and also make it easy just to, if I have a derailment under there, just get access to it. So that's the bridge. Been working on this hard standing, which is actually decided not to use. I was going to use some plaster cloth and actually just put that down first and then paint that so that the ground wouldn't look totally flat, but I haven't thought about that, if that's concrete hard standing put down next to the track. Concrete's generally always very flat, so quite happy with how that's turned out. Just used the concrete colour paint and then dry brushed a bit of black into it. Okay, the tank emptying depot is coming along. I've added some hard standing around where the tanks come in. I've just got this old 00 loco body which may be reworked to be a little pump shed till I maybe get a better structure. But obviously they had a little pump shed with pumps in it to actually suck the fuel out of the tanks. Because obviously these ones are filled from the top and emptied from the bottom. and then pump it into that storage tank. And also the pump would be used to I assume, yeah, to fill the lorries or the trucks, unless the trucks have their own pumping device to actually suck the fuel out. But anyway, and I built this, could double as a small low relief part of a TMD, or a good shed, a bit more of a modern day one. So once again, I had a bit more 7mm ply left over. Things have been a bit tight financially of late, so I've just painted that in some concrete paint and added a bit more black into it. You can see a bit of polyfiller, and just added a roof. That will be clad in some styrene roofing textures and siding, and that eventually that actually just lifts up. But at the moment it'll probably just stay like that for a bit. So alright guys, I waffled on a bit too long there, added a bit of static grass and some other foam textures. Quite like how that's come up. Alright, stay tuned, and there'll probably be another couple of running sessions before the next update. All the best, thanks for watching.